While a professional looking website design is vital for online success, it's only part of the equation. Well-structured content and engaging copy that is designed to convert visitors is equally, if not more important than a website's appearance. Your goal should be to give visitors a memorable experience on your website, one that is consistent with your physical location and distinct and exceptional from your competitors. Because ultimately, the copy on your website is a direct reflection of you, your business, and your brand. It dictates how your customers see you, what they know about you, and most importantly, how they feel about you. Good website copy creates conversation with your prospect about what their life will be like when you fulfill their needs. It's critical that you understand what those needs are before you start writing the copy for your website, so that your conversation will be all about them and not you. In the end, content wins the wallets of your customers. With that in mind, I set out to detail the reasons why Charlotte Tilbury's content structure and copywriting work so well, the tactics they're using, knowingly or not, and how the rest of us can model ourselves on that. So here we go. Write in the first person. Charlotte Tilbury feels approachable because they write copy in the first person. Yes, they use Charlotte Tilbury as a noun when referring to the company itself, but the narrative they create around the product, its vision, and what it can do for you comes from the perspective of the person that works at Charlotte Tilbury, not Charlotte Tilbury as a soulless identity. When you write from a first-person perspective, it's much easier to write in an active voice rather than a passive one. For example, instead of this, our scrub is blended to remove dead skin and helps keep skin glowing and healthy. Passive, soulless, anybody can do it. It's not approachable. Charlotte Tilbury instead opts for this. You see, it's active, friendly, approachable. By starting the copy with Charlotte Tilbury's signature darlings and my, the reader instantly feels as though they are getting a product recommendation from the beauty expert Charlotte Tilbury herself. The informal use of exclamation marks makes the message read as though it's an exciting text from a friend, making the reader feel comfortable. In short, Charlotte Tilbury uses the company name as a noun when referring to the product. For example, Charlotte Tilbury luxury palette, but uses nouns and adjectives, darlings, create the glowing, seductive, golden gaze, all my celebrity friends, ask for my luxury palette, everywhere else. As an aside, don't try and do both. Don't do the at Charlotte Tilbury, we create our products. It's stuffy, it defeats the purpose, just use we. The people on your website know who's speaking. Number 2, lead with the current challenge. Charlotte Tilbury frequently leads with the pain point first, then closely follows up with the solution and product information. Most companies present feature functionality on their home pages, product pages, and that's about it. Many companies also cover what the functionality will help you do. Charlotte Tilbury says, let's deal with the functionality in a moment. First, can we all agree, for example, wrinkles appear reduced? The aim is to have their visitors empathize with them before trying to sell anything. Now you're in a much better position to pitch the actual product because your readers are already nodding their heads in agreement. This follows closely with the solution, my science-powered serum and magic cream kit. Take a look at the Charlotte Tilbury website, in particular the product pages, and you'll see many examples of how Charlotte Tilbury highlights the pain point followed up by the solution. Number 3, use simple words. Charlotte Tilbury's website copy can be easily understood by 14 and 15-year-olds. I checked it myself. I entered Charlotte Tilbury's website into the Felch-Kincaid readability checker. Scores generally between 60 and 70 are listed as plain English, easy to read by teenagers. And this is exactly where Charlotte Tilbury fits. There is very little, if any, jargon to be found. It seems that every opportunity there was to replace a complex word with a simpler alternative was taken. Not only does this help the copy flow better, but it's much easier to relate to a brand when they don't feel like one. Again, they come across as approachable. There's always a simpler way to write what you're trying to say. Charlotte Tilbury is pretty good at finding those opportunities. Number 4, have a strong point of view. If the previous example is about getting your customers to nod in agreement on your website, this example is about getting them to nod in agreement before they even get there. Charlotte Tilbury herself is one of the United Kingdom's most famous experts in the makeup industry. She's created campaign looks for Tom Ford, Roberto Cavalli, Stella McCartney, right through to like H&M. Tilbury discovered the power of cosmetics while at a boarding school in England. After launching her own YouTube channel and blog providing makeup tutorials, tips and tricks featuring celebrities like Kate Moss or Olivia Culpo, she launched her own beauty brand with a range of skincare and makeup products, Charlotte Tilbury Limited, at Selfridges in London. By continuing to build her social media presence and online following, this has allowed her to create a brand that appeals to a large audience separate from her product range. Charlotte Tilbury has built and continues to build what we call a tribe. She knows who her customers are, women interested in luxury beauty products who have a decent disposable income. So the brand connects on those things first in a very public way. Social media, reviews, tutorials. That strong point of view is also all over the Charlotte Tilbury website. Number 5, bake social proof into the website. Look closely and you'll find customer social proof on just about every single page of the Charlotte Tilbury website. Most companies use testimonials on dedicated customer pages or include a quote or a few logos right below the header section as social proof and just call it a day. Charlotte Tilbury has literally woven social proof into the whole fabric of the website. On the product pages, beside the product images and short video, you're surrounded by social proof. Above the headline, you're already seeing the first presence of social by proof. By adding negative reviews, the sense of authenticity, transparency, and credibility is increased. And look at this. Customer proof with actual screenshots of the product visible on the product page. This is absolutely brilliant. Add to that the customer quote section on the Charlotte Tilbury website. The entire Charlotte Tilbury product page is built on customer proof. Everything else is written around it. Number 6, write about what life will be like. Read through Charlotte Tilbury's entire website and it's hard to find copy outside of the individual product pages that drones on about the functionality of the product. It's not about the product. It's about what life will feel like with the product. Charlotte Tilbury is exceptional at projecting that. They do have a demo video on each of the website's product pages that walks you through the application and how-to sections for tutorials and tips. But for the most part, they're using the website through copy and imagery as a way to show you what life would be like should you use their product range. They're choosing to appeal to your emotions, super flattering, confidence, rather than things like features. All of this as a way to get people to raise their hands and say, that's me, I need this product. Charlotte Tilbury writes copy that enables their readers to come to that conclusion themselves instead of having to tell them outright. Their product pages even have a demo video that show before and after results that do a superb job at projecting what life will be like and the results you should expect from using their product range. Check out any product page and it's all about social proof once again. Number 7, address the objections before they do. Even a perfect pitch can be ruined by poor objection handling. Every new visitor that lands on your website will have some objections or reasons they're hesitant to buy your product. Why are some concerns and objections unavoidable? Because if the potential customer didn't have reservations about your product's price or value or relevance to their situation, they'd have already bought it. As a visitor navigates your website, the goal should be to answer the questions and concerns they're likely to have. Charlotte Tilbury does this expertly throughout the site. For every feature it walks you through, it also includes the likely pushback or questions a user would have in response. What's the most common pushback you hear from people evaluating your product? Write up those questions and answer them in the relevant pages. And now you've just increased the selling power of your website. Number 8, write for people, not search engines. I included this one last because I know it's going to be controversial. First, let's acknowledge that Charlotte Tilbury has been around for over a decade, if not more. So yes, they've got network effects working for them. Their domain authority is high and they're pretty much a household name in the beauty industry. So do they have the luxury of ignoring SEO? Ignoring no, but can it be secondary? I'd say yes. For the rest of us, I propose a compromise. Write for people first, edit for SEO later. This is an important distinction. When you do the reverse, your copy sounds robotic and clinical. When you write for people first, the SEO edits end up being written within the context of the human copy you've already written. It's also much easier to write a first draft free of worries around algorithms, machines, or rankings, and search engine results. Anyways, let's take a look at a few examples on the Charlotte Tilbury website. These are spots where they clearly could have gone for a keyword, but instead took the opportunity to strengthen their positioning, share their point of view, and continue to build a consistent brand around their values instead. This is a brilliant example. It reinforces the idea their products create a feel-good effect and likely to have a positive emotional impact. The other example is a statement of the brand's mission that reinforces positive emotions like confidence. So that's it. Taking all these learnings and applying them to your beauty brand will help you put your best foot forward when developing your copy and structuring your content on your website. If you want to check out more videos like this, then please do give it a like and subscribe to my channel.